Are we in a quiet recession? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your hashtag not sponsored cheap coffee and I want to put the question to you, one that I saw on the Aussie Finance subreddit, asking if Australia is in a quiet recession. Now the reason why I want to put that to all of you is, well, I like to have a good chat with people that I meet around the place, tradies, businesses, other professionals, just to get a feel for how it's going. And what I've noticed just recently, last few, probably couple of months, any of the tradespeople or retail-facing people that I've been talking to, what's the feel out there? How's the economy going? It's getting quiet. It's dead. It was really quiet, starting to pick up a little bit now, or, it's kind of slow. I still remember the two guys that came and hired and repaired our washing machine for us. And two of them came, where it usually would have been one, and they'd both just been made redundant at another company. Today, it's a hot day today in Brizzy, I've hired myself a little dingo, one of the little ride-on diggers. And I've been moving around a whole lot of dirt to prepare for the new fence. Getting my nice soft architecture hands all blistered up from doing real work. I tell you, I can appreciate why machine operators have air conditioning on the vehicles they're driving around. And I was talking to the guy who was dropping it off. I'm going, how are you going? Have you been busy? Because usually they're flat out. Usually it's not very, I have to wait to hire a piece of equipment. But it was like that. And he's going, it's been quiet. It's been quiet. And that's a indicator, some anecdotal evidence that I'm seeing around the place. Let me know in the comments what you think there, and we'll have a look through this Reddit post while I have a shot of coffee. Now, one thing, so here it is. Are we already in a quiet recession? GDP may not say it yet, but many of my friends and families are cutting back, side hustling, or dipping into savings, wishing they could just take out their super, etc. That's the problem. That's the real frustration. I wonder how many people have really gotten into trouble and you've got all this money sitting there that you could use to ease your burden, reduce your stress. But are people actually worse off right now? Or are we just feeling the pinch harder because of interest rates and inflation and things will eventually improve? I've seen Australia is already in a per capita recession. Is this just transitory? Remember that, it's just transitory. Now, I put a poll up on my channel before I pressed record, and we'll refresh right now. And I asked, is Australia in a quiet recession? So 10 minutes ago, the 11 people that voted are 100% saying, yes, we're in a quiet recession. We haven't got any comments there. We'll come back to that. And everyone, if you want to find this, the poll, I'll put a link to it in the description of the channel of this video, but you can also find it under the posts or community sections of the channel. And then you can have your say there. So let's look at some of the comments that people have left here. Yes, consumer confidence is down. Well, yeah, we looked at that the other day. It is a little bit down. It's below 100. 100 is the baseline figure, so yeah, it's down. Anecdotally, you see a lot of people pulling back spending. You see a lot of companies pausing hiring, not renewing contracts, and performing redundancies layoff. Economy is cooling for sure. I've had some people I've dealt with, some PMs, were asked to take their holidays, take their leave. Now, there's the construction break, usually January, February, which, roughly 9 months from them, I have a lot of kids. That's funny, a lot of birthdays 9 months from that construction break, when the construction industry slows down, and that's when a lot of people take a break in our industry. But yeah, is the economy cooling? We saw unemployment has gone up as well just recently. Haven't changed my behavior any, but I've always been pretty frugal. What I have noticed for over 18 months is less people buying from me on Marketplace, and those that do spend less. Ah, there you go. Same, I flip furniture and my prices typically sell in the $300 to $500 range within a week or two of listing. Last few months I've only sold 2 pieces when I'd usually move 4 to 5 pieces. I'm not hurting for money, it's just a side hobby, but I've noticed. This is all little bits of anecdotal evidence, and this is going to affect the people that are doing these side hustles, that are doing these little extra gigs or using it to make money. It'll impact how you spend. I could be wrong, but I think this is a Facebook Marketplace algorithm change causing this. I used to sell iPhones within a week. I literally couldn't get a bite on a well-priced iPhone 15 Pro the other week, but Facebook wanted me to tip in money to show it to more people. Oh, are they going down the Gumtree route? I haven't done that for years. I was wondering about the algorithm. Okay, we'll keep going. Facebook 100%. Yep, definitely. It definitely has. Okay, this is the problem with this platform. They'll go off on a tangent about the Facebook algorithm. Same with flipping guitars and music gear. It's slowed right down. Okay. We're in an inequality crisis, the erosion of the middle class. Slowly losing our assets as parents sell homes, stocks, businesses to pay for retirement and late life care, and kids can't buy them. We aren't taxing the ultra wealthy properly. This is Reddit, so you're going to get a bias. Taxation and government solution is always going to be the taxation, and more government intervention is always going to be the solution. But anyway, let's see. We aren't taxing the ultra wealthy properly, and the end result is kings and peasants. Look at Mumbai, Brazil, etc. Ultra wealthy surrounded by slums. This is the normal throughout history. Well, look at the ideological systems governing those nations. Let's hope Australia doesn't steer down that path. Lamborghini, Ferrari, and McLaren are all posting record sales. Multinationals delivering eye-watering record profits. There's a ton of money around. The top 0.01% is spending up bigger than ever. When the last 15 minutes of the Monopoly board, where either someone flips out and throws it across the room, or the hyper-wealthy all hold hands, sing and agree to redistribute their hotels and properties to a more reasonable level. Sure. Top 1% commenter. How can you be a top 1% commenter on Reddit? I mean, is that something to be proud of? I mean, would you put that on your resume? Or would it be something you'd be worried about? Correct. The middle class experiment is over. Well, it's changed. It's changed. I'd say, I mean, technically, majority of us aren't middle class. We're just wealthier working class. The middle class are those underneath these top, the rulers, the elites, the oligarchs. Yeah. Definitely per capita, we've been in recession for a while now. And that's what really matters to you and me. We feel and likely are poorer. Well, your money can't go as far anymore. You go, I mean, even my coffees, my 7-Eleven coffees. Remember when they were $1? Remember when they went to $2? There you go. Filling up the tank of petrol, it's getting more expensive. Going shopping for food, it shocks me every time you do it. You go out with the kids for breakfast, you're dropping 100, easy. It's the recession we need to have. I thought people were promoting this a while ago, yes. No recession we needed to go through was an actual GDP recession. Well, we built some sort of productivity. We've done the opposite, okay. GDP per capita has been saying it for a while. Well, GDP per capita, it's still been growing, so technically it's not been in a recession. I mean, the definition of a recession is essentially 2 quarters of negative growth. If we have a look here, I mean, this is from what's a recession is a significant and widespread downturn in economic activity. Recessions may last as little as 2 quarters, but the economy, potentially the stock market, may not recover to its former peak for years. So that's one. There are a whole variety of definitions, but 2 quarters of negative growth is a good rule of thumb. We can see here the last recession Australia had was during the pandemic. And then we had, quarter 3 of 2021, and still we're above. We haven't had 2 quarters of negative growth. GDP per capita is still growing, but it's growing below trend. So you could make an argument that a prolonged period of growth below trend, below the average, below where it's meant to be, where it traditionally is, that's a depressed economy. There's no definition of a depression. It's not like a mega recession. So let's keep going. The only thing keeping GDP positive in aggregate is immigration. Debatable that it has a long-term benefit for you, but certainly not short-term. Benefit assets owners, though. They would argue that you benefit from the trickle down. Well, it depends. Australia's per capita GDP has declined for 7 consecutive quarters. A recession is commonly defined. It hasn't declined. It's still growing, but the rate of growth is growing down. But okay, anyway. Yeah. GDP is used for recession. Yeah, let's keep going. Yeah, well, the value of my house has increased almost as much as my post-tax income in the last 5 years. But unless I sell, it's hard to imagine how that's making anything richer. Well, it's making people feel richer. People will borrow against that leverage it. Equity mate. Remember the ads on the telly? Equity mate. Some people have become much wealthier homeowners and others much poorer renters. Yeah, I mean, that's the K-shaped economy, the two-speed K-shaped economy here. Okay? And what we'll do is we'll go up SQM. We'll look at Perth housing prices. Why not? Here we go. SQM research. Weekly. Oh boy, look at that chart there, guys. Okay, look at that. There you go. What we're sitting. Oh, wait. This rent or property? Weekly asking property prices. Nope. Over $1 million for a 3-bedder in Perth. So per annum change, 3 years is 13.8%. 10 years, 4.7%. The biggest issue with this, with property here in Australia, is that it starves other sectors of the economy of investment. Why start a business? Why innovate? Why take risks? Why deal with HR? Why deal with bullshit? Why jump through hoops? Why be a paternalistic boss? And look at housing. Look at it. Guys, I saw an advertisement on Facebook for a 2-bedroom place in Inala for $800,000, and that's a suburb in southern Brisbane. You're asking a lot there, which for what traditionally is a very working class, not very glamorous suburb at all. It's getting close to $1 million. There you go. So let's keep going. Yep. Anything else here? According to Oz Finance, we've been in recession for 15 years. Yeah, I went to a cafe. And it was practically empty. Sarcasm. Finally, someone said that. Yeah, someone comes in and cries poor to farm all the karma. Oh no. I had to sell my mother today to have gruel to eat. Okay, so there obviously is a bunch of people that like whinging and complaining on this forum. Now let's have a look at the poll here. Okay, here we go. So in the 19 minutes that this poll has been running, 95% of you had voted yes of the 22 votes, and 5% have voted no. And Poto, or it doesn't come up with your names properly anymore. Nothing gets produced in this country. Rents and energy and salaries are too high to compete with the outside world. They're trying to transform Australia into a third world country. Well, we're not really a third world country. Australia is a services country. We can't compete with production. We can't compete with manufacturing. It's not possible. You've got the whole people crying for it, but then you've got the not in my backyard crowd and the environmentalists making it too difficult. So you either need to put in taxes on every import to make your own industries competitive, and you're going to be reducing the quality of life of every citizen for that, or you look at other ways and other industries where you can compete. I mean, we're an oddball of a country. We're exporting raw materials and high advanced medical and vaccine components and things like this. We're high end at one, high tech at one, low tech at the other. That's Australia. And our economic complexity just keeps going down. I can't imagine we'll see manufacturing again in any significant capacity in Australia in our lifetime. Feels like the USA caste system. LLCs, 401ks on one side, milking IRS on the other side, to Skid Row Tent City paying for them. Really hope I'm wrong, but appears so. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation, guys. So, well, with that in mind, let's have a bit of a chat about this, a bit of a reflection. It's definitely getting quieter out there. Confidence is lower. I think we need to keep an eye on consumer confidence to see where that's heading. Keep an eye on those unemployment numbers and how long it's taking people to get jobs, because that's what we have to track, and that's going to tell us what's going on. Now, with the unemployment ticking up, will the RBA cut rates? Oh, they might. I think they'll be apprehensive of doing it, because that's going to even put more stimulus on other parts of the market. You're going to have a whole bunch of people crying poor and that are struggling, and you're going to have a whole other bunch that are loving it, reaping all the rewards. I mean, it's always the way, but it's just getting worse. Anyway, take care. Let me know what you all think, and please vote in the poll, and I'll see you next time.